they're going to have to get DJ Burns established early on the road.
Well, North Carolina State is not coming in off a stellar performance, perhaps their worst of the season on Saturday. They were blown out in their final home game by Clemson, losing by 25. Roger Ayers, Brian O'Connell, Kip Kissinger are our officials. They'll toss it into the air. Ayers does the honors, and Duke controls with Derek Lively. And Tyrese Proctor, one of the Duke guards who was really hounded into 22 turnovers in the first meeting, has really elevated his play of late. Jeremy Roach guarded by Terquavion Smith. They really didn't let Duke run anything in the first meeting, and they've got the Devils deep in the shot clock already. Here's Mark Mitchell, the lefty, and Duke's on the board. And that's a better start for the Blue Devils, who got behind 15-0 in that game in Raleigh. North Carolina State, the starting five. Debbie talked about Smith and Joyner, Morcell, the transfer from Virginia. Greg Gant is in there for Jack Clark, though we could see Clark tonight. And the big fella, DJ Burns, who's had an outstanding season after transferring from Winthrop. Smith's first shot is awry, and Filipowski has the rebound. Duke's starting five is a familiar one, the freshman with Jeremy Roach, Lively, Mitchell, Filipowski, and Proctor all in their first years in Durham, and Roach is the captain and the leader who has really thrived. Since Proctor has emerged, they've been able to move Jeremy off the ball. But Jeremy lost the ball that time, and here comes NC State on the push with Jarkel Joyner, the transfer from Ole Miss.
Lively is going to have a challenge trying to keep him in front in transition. That's why when NC State pushes, they get the matchups they want, Reese. If they push the ball in transition, they can take advantage of some of the defense on Duke.
If Burns can do that too, then Lively will have to come out and contest him. And the thing that Lively does brilliantly is block shots. He leads all freshmen in block shots in the top 15 in America among all players.
Both DJ Burns and Derek Lively will be in drop coverage on most ball screen defense, so neither one of them like to come out of the paint.
Both of these teams are good offensive rebounding teams. You saw Lively get one for the Blue Devils. One of the goals for North Carolina State's Kevin Keach, as we saw on the board in the pregame tonight, was to out-rebound the Blue Devils by 10.
Well, Derek Lively didn't get a whole lot of minutes the first matchup. He's a much different player now as Duke brings the double.
Gant kicks it out. Smith not shy, but Terquavion is long on the shot. NC State has it back with Burns, and then Burns lost it, and Smith is able to corral it. It's 20 on the shot clock. Here goes Terquavion. It rattles out. No red shirt in there to rebound it. Duke has the easy rebound.
So Terquavion starts off 0 for 3, and in the last 5 games, he's shooting just 23% from 3.
Filipowski misses. Good thing about Terquavion, though, is that will not bother him.
No, it won't. He's got supreme confidence and the green light from head coach Kevin Keats.
North Carolina State scores with Jarkel Joyner. They've really played poor defense in the first halves of each of their last 2 games. Got away with it against Wake Forest because they scored well, but they couldn't find the range against Clemson. They were down huge at halftime and never got back in it. But so far tonight, a couple of early buckets to avoid falling in that hole. Roach from the corner. Another offensive rebound for a moment, that Filipowski had it knocked away. Joyner on the run, right by Lively, now thinks better of it with the big freshman there to swat it away. So instead, he'll shoot it over for 3. The contested shot's no good, and Joyner's on the deck holding his right ankle. Well, that will be a big issue for NC State. Let's hope it's not serious, but he has yet to get to his feet. And now that Duke goes over and back, and the officials, led by Kip Kissinger, sending North Carolina State training staff out to check on Joyner. Let's take a look and see if we can see what happened to grad transfer from Ole Miss. Oh, he stepped underneath the scorer's table and sort of got his foot caught as he was trying to will that ball in. 4-2 North Carolina State, but a significant situation. One of the star guards for the Wolfpack. We'll check on him. Jarkel Joyner walked off with some assistance after really what happened, Debbie, as he backpedaled a little bit underneath the scorer's table, got his right foot caught underneath there for just a minute and sort of rolled that ankle. so he's down on the bench being attended to right now, but with the way he was walking, we are hopeful that he will be back shortly.
Well, for NC State, this puts Breon Pass, the 6-foot sophomore, in the lineup, and this will put Terquavion Smith most likely handling most of the ball handling responsibilities.
Pass got it to Smith, Lively challenging him, and Terquavion got in a lot of trouble. Now he tumbles into the front row of photographers there.
Well, Duke was trying to trap him, so he was stretching the trap to the other side of the floor.
And Joyner has now walked down and taken a seat down at the end of the bench. Blue Devils, meanwhile, I mentioned the slow start they got off to in Raleigh, but now they've missed their last 5 shots. They didn't score until they were behind 15-0 in that earlier loss to the Wolfpack. Now Filipowski has it on the block. Freshman goes to work, he misses, gets his own, he'll try it again, and Roger Ayers has got a foul on the inside.
See, for Filipowski, it's all about the quality of the catch. Greg Gant is defending him. He's got a size advantage. He doesn't really need to counter. He just needs to go right over the top and score. And on the second effort, he gets to the free throw line.
Casey Morcell hit with the foul. And that didn't take long. It was scary. I'm sure it was scary for Jarkel Joyner, but we're delighted to see him return to action. So pass will stay out there, and Morcell will take a break.
A collective sigh across Raleigh. Deep breath there.
Because if they're going to make a run in the ACC tournament or in the NCAA tournament, they need both of those dynamic guards going.
It's what really energizes them on both ends of the floor.
NC State thrives off of turnovers. Duke defensively has thrived off just pretty much choking the life out of your offense. And they've done that quite well in recent games. 4-game winning streak. Shot clock's all the way down to 4. Gant, not noted to be a scorer, but gets it up and in.
Greg Gant has 3 times the number of rebounds that he has points for NC State, but he plays his role very well, so that's a bonus for the Wolfpack for him to score. And you can see Duke is bringing a double to DJ Burns.
Transfer from Providence, now jumps out, switches, and now he's harassing Proctor. That leaves a little bit of a mismatch with Filipowski, but they don't find him. Mitchell on the baseline. Kyle gets an offensive rebound against the smaller pass. Pass almost ties him up. And now Duke will have it with 20 on the shot clock as Lively gets it. Now Proctor for 3. Filipowski again. And Duke's winning the battle on the boards, particularly on the offensive end, where they are one of the better offensive rebounding teams in the country and the best in the ACC.
Filipowski is going to work block to block, showing tremendous toughness on the glass. He goes to dunk this, and from behind, Greg Gant looks like just stuffs it in the rim.
5 offensive rebounds already for the Blue Devils, and Filipowski will go back to the free throw line. Kyle's had a sensational freshman season. Leads all freshmen in the nation with 12 double-doubles in the last 4 games. Averaging 15 points and about 7 boards per game. That's a little bit better than his season average.
Overall, Duke is much more efficient on both ends of the floor. In the last 4, besides Filipowski's numbers, they're assisting on 67% of their baskets, and they've turned it over on an average of 9 times. That's the details of moving towards March.
John Shires sent Derek Whitehead into the game along with Jacob Grandison. Whitehead, star freshman, who's had various injury concerns over the course of the year. He can be an offensive spark, and rising up and knocking one down is Breon Pass, making the most of his opportunity.
NC State picking up some full court pressure.
Roach all the way.
So good in that middle ball screen action. DJ Burns is in drop coverage, but that's way too much quickness by Roach.
That is a quickness mismatch. Now, Burns, let's see if he can use that big old fanny and back Derek Lively down. Puts it up and scores! He'll have the opportunity for a three-point play.
That is DJ Burns and his game. You tease him and taunt him with a double. He's got great patience and poise. Tremendous IQ with a ball in his hands. A willing passer. It takes it right at the second best shot blocker in the ACC.
Lively's going to take a break. Ryan Young, the grad transfer from Northwestern, is in, and the soft touch by the big fella gives him 5. And North Carolina State has an early three-point lead.
DJ Burns is averaging about 23 minutes, and the issue with him all season has been keeping him out of foul trouble. But I like the way Kevin Keats is managing him early in the game.
Ebenezer Dwana is checked in. Big man who started much of last season. Now Whitehead turns the corner, and as it deflected, that's a staple of the Wolfpack defense, disrupting your offense with deflection.
They have two side. They go screen and roll. Jack Clark tags from the weak side and gets a deflection. And we know how Kevin Keats feels about deflections. They're trying to get 40 tonight. He says when they get 40 deflections, they typically win.
Shot clock's at 4. Crazies are helping out Roach. Roach lets it go just in time. And Jeremy Roach on the drive again.
Jeremy Roach has such good handle and is such a good game manager in a late clock situation.
You saw him have a splendid performance on Saturday night. His first career double-double with 19 points and 11 assists. That blowout victory against Virginia Tech, one in which they avenged an earlier loss. Marcel the fadeaway, pass getting really active. He gets an offensive rebound. But both these clubs do a really good job getting second chances.
Top two teams in the ACC, as you mentioned earlier. There's that pass-through screen for Clark.
Jack Clark, who took a tough fall, missed the game against Clemson on Saturday. Chance to get back in. And
Three-on pass? Come on, Reese, are you kidding me?
the secret weapon pass. And an answer from Derek Whitehead. Derek needed that one. He had made just 3 of his last 14 field goal attempts, and we know he's become a proficient shooter. Joyner tried to answer. Here come the Blue Devils in a tie game, and it's one of the unforced errors. North Carolina State's going to force enough turnovers. You can't help them with the unforced ones.
I mean, they're +4 in the turnover margin to lead the ACC. They lead the ACC in turnovers forced at just under 14 a game. But that's the thing about Duke. They haven't been turning the ball over in this 4-game winning streak.
Completely different feel to this club than when they played the Wolfpack the first time. Really a different feel from even, probably 3 weeks ago. They've played much more together, as you've documented very well. They know their roles as the foul is called on Jack Clark. And we're off to a good start. And Cameron, we might wind up with a barn burner in the final home game of the season for the Devils. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Progressive Insurance. It's easy to bundle your home and car insurance at progressive.com, and in part by Samsung Galaxy S23 series. House, Texas Tech taking on Jalen Wilson and the Jayhawks. Kansas needs a win or a Texas loss to secure at least a share of yet another Big 12 title. It'll be the 17th regular season title for Bill Self in his 20 years at Kansas. That, yes, it can make you dizzy sometimes.
It's amazing. I mean, it's such an impressive number, such consistency over time.
That big showdown Saturday between Kansas and Texas, the Longhorns still have the difficult matter of going to Fort Worth tomorrow night on ESPN2. And of course, it'll be no picnic against the Red Raiders team that has now become desperate to try to land some big wins and maybe sneak their way into the tournament. At this stage, they'll probably need to make a bit of a run There's Whitehead again, and Whitehead hit a three-pointer earlier, and this time he'll have a chance for 3 free throws as the foul is called on Jack Clark. It's 2 on Jack after he missed the game on Saturday.
Yeah, Jack Clark is in his landing space. That's a foul.
For Whitehead, you mentioned he's missed a lot of time this year. That's only the 2nd missed free throw of the season.
I like to call him the disruptor. I think he elevates them on both sides of the ball to another level as we get closer to postseason, because he can defend multiple positions. He can score at 3 levels. He's an incredible athlete. He's got great length. He's got a high motor. John Shire told us today that these guys are all self-motivated. He doesn't have to spend a lot of time trying to get their engine revved up.
So
They decided if it was 2 or 3 free throws. I think that's what they're looking at.
I was told that they were looking at the clock, too. They're going to add 4 seconds because I guess the ball didn't hit the rim, so they're straightening out the clock. It was pretty clear that he was behind the line, so they get that straightened up. They've disrupted Derrick's rhythm. But got to do what you got to do, I guess. Whitehead's now 15 of 17 free throw line while he was injured. Chris Carrawell, a great article read this week about working with Derrick and consistency in the shooting streak. He's always been able to shoot. Sometimes legs don't stay under him, but he perfected that form up top, and then when he was coming back, Carrawell put him through the paces to make sure he could do it when he was tired. And man, as it paid off for him. He was kind of known as a slasher and driver coming out of high school. Duke has its first lead of the night and hoping to add to it on this trip. Filipowski. That's a little offensive foul there as he just stuck a forearm into the side of Greg Gann.
3 whistles on that one. That was an easy one for the officials.
Serve as the 4th turnover for the Blue Devils in the first half. And that's, let's just say that's uncharacteristic. That's not the most aware foul Kyle will ever commit.
DJ Burns made 7 baskets against Duke the first matchup. 6 of them were against Ryan Young. Let's see if NC State goes right back to him because they have confidence in this matchup one-on-one.
Couple of transfers going at it and won't get the chance because Young put both hands on him. He's going to be called for the foul.
NC State's going to dial that up as long as Ryan Young is on the floor because they know DJ Burns, who can score against most post players one-on-one, but certainly knows he can win that matchup. And John Shire knows it also, so he gets him out and puts Lively back in.
He scored over Lively earlier, pulling him away from the basket. Travion Smith's been a little quiet in the early going. He can go off at any time. Here's DJ spinning against Lively, getting back to the rim. And some friendly nighttime banking hours.
And usually he's got a big smile on his face after he makes a play like that.
He has 7 of NC State's 15.
He is so talented.
Derek Lively, feed to Mitchell, and he was fouled on his way to the basket. And Mark will shoot a couple of free throws.
Watch the footwork of DJ Burns. He's going to Barkley you, back you down, and then high off the glass. He uses the board so well. On the other end, Terquavion says, not dunking in the first half. No dunks.
Foul on Smith, and Mitchell will have to get it from the free throw line. He's a good free throw shooter. Right on cue. The footwork you mentioned for Burns, a big man that nimble, and I think of Oliver Miller. You know, Oliver was a big guy when he was not quite as big. He always had great feet, kind of a soft touch, soft hands, And there's some similarities there, I think, in those two aspects of their game.
Really quick on the spin move, really good with the counters, reads the double team so well.
Joyner seems none the worse for the wear after that ankle scare on the scores table. Step back, top of the key. Darkill Joyner.
In the last 5 games, he's been their best player. 23 points, 5 assists, a couple of steals a game. And he rebounds. This is a good rebounding backcourt for NC State.
Proctor weaving his way in. He's hit. He cuts through the lane. Foul's going to be called on Roach.
Joyner's so good at using the bounce to separate. Such quickness, you got to give him a little bit of a cushion. I don't think anybody can attack a closeout in the ACC better than he can, and Isaiah Wong at Miami is pretty good at it.
Mitchell with trouble getting it in. Lively saves him. Mitchell misses 3, and Smith with the rebound. Roach is on Smith now. Quavion can't get it to go. Lively cleans it away after Filipowski did a good job keeping it alive. Pass fake, 3 ball. No good for Filipowski. Lively chases down another offensive rebound for the Blue Devils. That's 6.
State doing a really good job. 1 pass away.
Roach has to get it up, and he goes over Burns and scores.
He is killing him in that middle ball screen action. Jeremy Roach, especially late in the shot clock. That's 3 consecutive times he's had the ball in the middle third and scored with the clock inside 5.
Now he's accounted for 6 points in the early going. Joyner wanted that step back, but Filipowski kept him from doing it. Proctor was the last to touch it. And Proctor, as an on-ball defender or denying his man, has become a menace defensively over the last few weeks.
I think that's his personal development and growth alone, as you see him and Terquavion are getting into it a little bit.
Roger Ayers is going to step in. Terquavion was taking exception that Proctor was in his space. This is going to get a little contentious before it's over.
Yeah, well, Proctor
already has.
And Terquavion were pushing back and forth, and then they just tripped over DJ. I think they're going to take a look at it.
They'll come over to the monitor. Brian O'Connell, Roger Ayers having a look. Now let's look here. You see, there's the chest bump, and now Terquavion would like a little personal space. He wouldn't. 2 hands. Proctor, young but undaunted. Well, look, you run into a wall like DJ Burns, you might fall. It's going to happen. Hit 20 in the first half, tied at 17. With a dead ball technical foul as a result of this little interaction with Tyrese Proctor. That's the end of it. It's his 2nd personal foul, by the way. Now, what Terquavion was motioning to his teammates in the huddle is that earlier, prior to what you see, is that Proctor was like putting his arms sort of around him, but Terquavion had plenty of opportunities to avoid that entire situation, did not, and now he has 2 fouls and is sitting, and Proctor goes to the free throw line.
Yeah, that technical foul counts as a personal foul.
Proctor's first point of the night puts Duke back on top. He's perfect 2 for 2. And Smith, who is averaging 17.6 points per game, 3rd in the ACC in scoring, has a number of points to match his jersey number so far.
So NC State loses possession of the ball as well. I think it was their ball out of bounds prior to the technical.
Proctor races past pass. He's been very good, and some perhaps unexpected early playing time for Kevin Keats. With a couple of shots in the early going. Roach does a good job shaking free. Can't find the range. Pass had a hand on it. Filipowski knocked it out of bounds.
NC State isn't just switching. They are switching to steal. They're being very aggressive in those switches, and that's a great read by Roach to Flair. He had a great look at it.
Combined 1 for 13 from behind the arc. Neither team shooting particularly well in the early going, product of an aggressive defense. There's a little cantankerous attitude on both sides. It is reared its head. Great pass by Burns to fine pass, and he couldn't knock it down. And now Gant's going to get the cheapie because the officials want to get control of this after the little back and forth between Smith and Proctor. That's 2 on Gant.
I mean, there's no reason for Gant to reach in on that and try to make that play. And Breon Pass has made 3 triples on the season. So DJ Burns, usually, I think the percentage of scoring goes up for NC State when he passes it to you out of the double team, because I think he gives you confidence when he does that.
Gant takes a seat with the 2 fouls, and Ernest Ross has checked in. Back to the free throw line. Filipowski scores again. Duke is at 9 out of 12 from behind. State has attempted just 1 free throw now, make it 9 of 13. And a 3-point lead. Mitchell active and almost forced a turnover in the backcourt, but Joyner will get it safely across the timeline for the Pack.
Duke limited, I'm not sure that was a good decision. The Duke limited Hunter Couture to only 2 3-point attempts. Virginia Tech on Saturday night, and that was a part of the big scouting report defensive game plan. And I think Mitchell's doing a great job on Casey Morsell right now, not letting him get free from 3-point land.
Block from Lively results in a held ball. NC State maintains possession. Now the arrow flips to the Blue Devils. Burns working. Filipowski ran the double at him, and I think he's going to get called for steps.
It's a great job by making DJ Burns hesitate, because Filipowski brings the double, then he goes back away, then he comes back again with the double team. See, he recovers, then he comes and brings it again as soon as DJ Burns turns to the baseline.
Third turnover of the first half for the Wolfpack. They trail by 3. Duke has the ball as we're inside 7 minutes to play here in the first half of Cameron.
Reese, it's really physical off the back.
Derek Lively off the feed from Proctor. Deflection from Filipowski and a steal. 4th turnover for the Wolfpack. Here come the Devils with their biggest lead and hoping to add to it.
Filipowski's open.
They don't get it to him. Lively coming to set the ball screen for Proctor. Proctor shakes a couple, window. Lively puts it back home. Blue Devil run, and Kevin Keats needs a timeout. How about the big fella does all his work around the rim, Debbie?
He's a rim runner. He plays on drop-offs and putbacks, and that's...
And Arizona State have won games in the last few days. And then Arizona on the road to take on USC. Bruins have already clinched the Pac-12 regular season. Mick Cronin's team, I think, is a threat to win the national championship.
I like Tiger Campbell. I like Mick Cronin's demeanor with his team. They're very good defensively, and Tiger hasn't played his best basketball of late, but it's coming.
Jaime Jaquez has had a terrific season, too. Boy, Bobby Hurley's team needed that win. They got over Arizona over the weekend. Fade-away jumper from Jarkel Joyner.
That is a tough 2. You can't play much better defense than that. NC State brings a full court pressure here.
Joyner, the transfer from Ole Miss, he led the Rebels in scoring last year at over 13 points per game, and he's Been a really good fit and largely a calming influence on Smith over the course of this season. Traquavion Smith's on the bench a couple of fouls after getting hit with a dead ball technical. They'll try to weather the storm, perhaps in the last 5 minutes, without their leading scorer. Joyner over Roach. Another tough shot. It's a 3-ball. My goodness. Right in his kitchen, and he drained it.
I mean, that is confidence.
That was one of those bad shot. Wow, great shot. Roach drives and scores again. Fourth time he's done that tonight.
How good has Jeremy Roach been? The 4 freshmen and Roach. So smart.
Joyner again as it's swatted away by Lively.
Well, Derek Lively definitely asserting himself. His second block of the game, Reese. And I updated his block shots number. Still 57% into their transition game. Not this one. Duke gets to set up their D.
Burns spins past Lively, and what a great job using the rim. Now, North Carolina State is hanging around. Their degree of difficulty on their shots has been far higher than Roach's drives to the bucket, but the Wolfpack, inside the 4-minute mark, weathered a little Duke rally, and they're within 2.
Try to weak Jeremy Roach, which means make him go to his left hand.
Jacob Grandison's no good. Burns has his pocket picked by Roach. Mitchell goes in and he'll draw the foul against Burns. Gotta be strong with that ball. Burns was not, and Duke made him pay. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Wendy's 2 for $6, the best deal in fast food. Has been terrific for Duke. 4 field goals. Didn't have a field goal in the first meeting that NC State won by 24. Now, Jeremy was working his way back from injury. But in addition to the numbers you saw there, Debbie, a big deal right now is that Duke just shot its 14th free throw. They've made 10. North Carolina State has shot 1 and made 1.
Well, and with Traquavion Smith with 2 fouls on the bench with no points, when they played the first time, he had 24 points, no assists, but he drew 8 fouls on the Blue Devil defense.
And the Wolfpack trying to hang in for those last 3.5, despite the foul trouble, not only for Smith, but Jack Clark, DJ Burns, Greg Gant, also saddled with 2 fouls here in the first half. Clark is on the floor, number 5. He's playing with them at the moment.
Without DJ Burns on the floor right now, John Shire can get Ryan Young back on the floor to guard Duana.
Ebenezer Duana's the big fellow that's in. Breon Pass has gotten good run early in the game. We weren't with us at the beginning. Jarkel Joyner twisted an ankle, had to leave for a while. It was scary, but Jarkel has been the picture of health, it seemed. Shot clock at 5. Porcel lets one fly. He is a much improved three-point shooter than he was from his days at Virginia, and even better than last year.
That play too slow developing for NC State. It took him too late, and a deep forced 3.
Roach splits the defenders, drops it to Filipowski, who patiently put it up and had it roll off the rim. Kyle will go back to the free throw line, where he's already made 5 out of 6 tonight.
The bigs are starting to wear down NC State's interior. They've been doing a great job of getting points in the paint, attacking the rim. And NC State has struggled with that middle ball screen action in the first half.
Despite the fouls, the Wolfpack have played much better defense in the first half than they had their last 2 games. Last 2 games, both teams, both Wake Forest and Clemson, shot better than 60% in the first half. Both of them made double-digit threes for the course of the game. In fact, NC State have been leading the ACC in three-point defense prior to those last 2 games. They've done a much better job tonight by keeping Duke off the three-point line, having made just 1 of 9.
And I think Kevin Keats, as long as this stays a 2 or 3 possession game, can keep Terquavion Smith on the bench. Obviously, he was frustrated picking up that dead ball contact technical.
Ryan Young just picked up his second foul for Duke. Clark, little step back. They have hit some high degree of difficulty shots tonight, and Jack Clark puts one down, transfer from LaSalle.
Great to see Jack Clark back getting some minutes.
NC State will show a lot of pressure, but the one thing this does too, Debbie, it eats up some shot clock, gets them a little closer to halftime, within striking distance. Proctor, good idea. Well, he couldn't quite connect. It'll be a turnover for the Blue Devils. They're 5th of the first half. Much better pace than when they had 22 in the meeting in Raleigh. Quick shot from pass won't go. We'd hit a couple of those earlier in the half, and we're inside 2 minutes.
They clear out everybody to the opposite side. Let Ryan Young get to the midline.
Young used that footwork, head bobbed around, acted like he was getting knocked around, and knocked one in off the window.
Highly skilled offensively. Nice counter.
Clark started to let one fly. Orcel, great jump stop in there, but couldn't get the shot. Now Proctor on the run. Wolfpack spins past Orcel and has it blocked by Dewana. Pull up Joyner, buckets.
Jarkel Joyner, shoot till your arm falls off. You have taken so many tough shots for NC State in this first half.
This Texas could be Big 12 implications there. The greatest rivalry in the sport, Duke and Carolina. College game day will be there. 10 a.m. Eastern time until 11:45. The 11:45 time, a reason we'll talk about later on. And Arizona and UCLA, 10 o'clock Eastern time. UCLA's already wrapped up the Pac-12. Those are really the 2 best teams in the Pac-12, the Conference of Champions. Perhaps both
Nice
with
Bill Walton
Final
reference.
Four aspirations. Bill's my guy. Love Walton.
We haven't seen the horn set yet in the first half, and John Shire draws it up off this timeout.
Proctor, little discard there on pass to create a little space.
Got the size advantage in that matchup.
Tyrese has 4, his first field goal of the night.
A little chatter going on between Pass and Proctor.
A 9 seconds differential, Deb, in the shot clock and game clock. The Duke will have an opportunity if they can secure the rebound, depending on what Wolfpack does here. I'd let Joyner shoot it.
Absolutely.
They did and couldn't get that one to go. But plenty of time for the Blue Devils. Up by 4. Roach has been a menace driving it. Gets in the paint and he travels with it. Now NC State will have a chance for the last shot.
I'm surprised that Jeremy didn't wait for the middle ball screen because he's been so effective in that all first half. Now NC State has an opportunity. Jarkel Joyner is going to take 4 dribbles and get to the paint.
And Joyner is fouled. Duke had one to get. 2.5 to play in the first half. Second foul on Roach.
Now it inbounded to Joyner. He's going to get 2 dribbles.
Joyner takes 1 dribble. Long, and it rattled out, much to his frustration. An entertaining first half between 2 teams that got a little aggravated with one another from time to time. That's the way you like it. Look at the Blue Devils' record when they're leading at the break, 19-2 this season. Blue Devils with a 4-point lead. We go to the studio now.
Plays to keep the Blue Devils ahead here at the half by 4.
Duke will have the ball to start the second half. That'd be a big deal in the first half. Discrepancy at the free throw line. Duke shot 17 free throws, made 12. NC State shot and made 1. But, as you saw, Roach was taking the ball to the basket. Kyle Filipowski was devastating on the boards. He had 10 rebounds in the first half. Filipowski finds Mitchell in the corner for 3, and that's how the Blue Devils start the second half.
Mitchell made the first basket of the first half. And with Terquavion Smith on the floor, who went 0 for 4 in the first half, I think you run something for him early and let's see if you can get him to the line or get him an easy bucket.
Mark Mitchell has 8. Joyner answers him.
Or that. He's had the hot hand.
I think a good strategy for Kevin Keats is if Jarkel Joyner feels like shooting it, say, yes, let's do that. He's got 15 now. He had 21 in the first meeting.
The other thing Terquavion can do is he can do other things. He can get an assist. He can get to the glass.
Roach has to pull up this time. Another offensive rebound for the Blue Devils. Derek Lively never turned and faced. It's not really his game. I think it's now 48 of his 62 field goals have been dunked. Tyrese Proctor drives and scores.
Yeah, everything is at the rim for Lively. He blocks shots, and on the offensive end, he's a rim runner, a putback, and a drop-off. You got to put it right in his hands at the rim for him to finish right now.
Rochelle drives. Smith standing a long way from the basket. He missed much of the first half after getting a dead ball technical, which was his second personal foul. Shot clock is now under 5. Gant has to fire a turnaround jumper, and Joyner couldn't quite make the catch for the flush, and it'll be Duke ball.
NC State trying to change the rhythm of the game early by picking up full court here. And I think Kevin Keats has managed a little bit of foul trouble in the first half very well with his bench.
Jack Clark, one of the guys who had 2 fouls in the first half, was returned for Kevin Keats. Wolfpack applying pressure in the backcourt.
You always can use Lively as a pressure reliever because DJ Burns is not going to guard 94 feet.
Big 7-1 target doesn't hurt either. Filipowski. Pass blocked with the left hand. Kyle Filipowski now with 8, and his first field goal of the night. First 6 points have been from the free throw line.
He's got such great footwork, and I think he flips his hips so quickly in a move like that.
Speaking of good feet, Burns misses, but there to clean it up is Jack Clark. Jack has 4, missed the Clemson game as we mentioned with an injury. Good to see him back out there. Break the pressure easily. Proctor takes it right at Burns and draws the foul.
DJ Burns has got to have more defensive discipline right there. I mean, let him have a lane to the bucket. That's 3 on Burns. He just can't resist. He's not going to block the shot. Just get out of the way. Or a defensive stunt at him and then get out of the way.
I've heard our good friend Jay Billis say on numerous occasions, you can get a basket back, you can't often get a foul back.
Yes. Wise.
As much as it pains me to say. Proctor 3 for 3 from the free throw line tonight. And while much of it was foul trouble, and Terquavion Smith didn't get a lot of field goal attempts, just shot 4 times, was 0 for 4. But Proctor has spent a good deal of time guarding him, and he has been a lockdown defender, and the Blue Devils lead is the longest of the night.
Yeah, this is a really important opportunity for NC State offensively here. They've got to get points.
Smith trying to shake Proctor. Terquavion into the lane and can't get it to fall. And there's Lively cleaning up the window.
I mean, Terquavion usually finishes a play like that, a floater in the front of the rim. Even though Lively was there, I thought he had enough on it to get it over the shot blocker.
Roach uses the screen and foul on the floor. Kip Kissinger's going to get Smith, and that's going to be his 3rd foul.
Yeah, Terquavion is frustrated. And he's got to snap out of it if NC State's going to have a chance.
When the loss to Clemson on Saturday, he scored just 10 points. About 7.5 below his average, was just 3 of 15 from the floor. The throw in tonight, and he's just 3 of his last 20. Mark Mitchell, meanwhile, continues to be wildly efficient on the offensive end. He is into double figures, and Duke has a 10-point lead. Can't wait on that media timeout. This one's in danger of getting away. Kevin Keats calls a timeout. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Wendy's, 2 for $6, the best deal in fast food. He scored 20 or more, 500 record as an assistant coach. He won first meeting as a head coach here in Cameron back on February 4th, a splendid defensive effort. Now he faces a desperate North Carolina team on Saturday night, a much needed victory against Virginia on Saturday, and then again in Tallahassee last night, which was more a case of avoiding a bad loss. Blue Devils the highest ranked team in the net, so a big opportunity for the Heels and a good opportunity for Duke to work on its seed as DJ Burns spins and the foul was called on the inside.
I mean, Duke has done such a good job of mixing up their coverages on DJ Burns. Sometimes it's a double, sometimes it's one-on-one. They feel like Lively can handle the matchup by himself, but once in a while they do bring two to the ball. And everyone else spaces out. You've got really good shooters on the floor.
Last foul, Debbie, was called on Kyle Filipowski, who is 2 points away from another double-double and 10 rebounds in the first half. Kip Kissinger is over at the scorer's table trying to straighten something out. It appears that the gentlemen in stripes are satisfied, and off we go. There goes Burns, using that big old rear end over the leaner Lively, and Burns scores again.
He is so big and strong. When he gets that deep, forget about it. He's going to score.
He's got 11, and they're playing him with 3 fouls, and why not? If you don't play Burns down, you don't play Smith right now, this thing could get away from you. Might anyway, but you gotta give yourself a chance. Here's Roach. Missed that one, and Lively didn't. Smith has his shot blocked by Lively, but he was fouled, and Terquavion will have a chance to get on the board for the first time tonight. First foul on Lively. Roach has made a living tonight making those, but when he does it, guess who's there to clean up? Thank you very much. Duke up by 10. Opportunity to move into that mix as well. They could get as high as a 2 seed, though that seems unlikely. They would need quite a bit of help. And this conference is pretty balanced. The only thing that you want to get the buys for is to help with the fatigue if you can. Terquavion Smith on the board with his first 2 points of the night.
Full court pressure. NC State needs to try to speed the game up a little bit and take advantage of their quickness in the backcourt with this lineup on the floor. Jack Clark at the 4.
Something they did extremely well in the first meeting. They outscored Duke 31-2 in points off turnovers. Duke's done a better job taking care of the basketball tonight. Filipowski spinning deep in the clock. Gets another rebound. Kyle Filipowski now 11 rebounds. Goes up and misses again. Another tap for Filipowski. Can't get it to go. Winds up on the seat of his pants, and here comes Joyner. Smith turns the corner. He has to get a field goal. Finds Morcell in the corner. That's no good. And Filipowski's just cleaning up every rebound. He's got 13. And Mitchell couldn't handle the pass ahead. And it'll be a turnover for the Blue Devils. They're 7.
Terquavion Smith and Casey Morcell combined 0 for 11 from the floor.
Debbie Burns and Joyner are 11 of 19. Everybody else 5 of 21 now, I think, after that last miss.
But still not getting to the free throw line effectively.
Attempted only 3 free throws tonight. Duke, meanwhile, 14 of 19. Part of that is Duke has been the more aggressive team in terms of going to the basket.
Now Mark Mitchell is on Terquavion Smith.
Burns is back down Lively 2 or 3 times tonight. Filipowski starts to run at him. Now DJ, nifty pass to Morcell, gives it to Clark, who went over the top and dunked it over Lively. He'll get a chance for the 3-point play.
NC State has gotten so much better playing off DJ Burns with his back to the basket. Casey Morcell leaves it off. That is a big-time play by Jack Clark. That's the kind of emotional lift that NC State might need.
Debbie, that's the third foul on Derek Lively. With 14 minutes to play, and North Carolina State down 10 just a few moments ago. They've got a chance to cut it in half. Back to the monitor we go.
Draw help, drop it off. Great finish by Clark.
Played really well tonight after what was believed to be a shoulder injury after taking a spill. He's hit 3 out of 4 from the floor. Now completes the three-point play, 7 points tonight, and it's a 5-point game and pressure in the backcourt from the Pack. Tariq Whitehead's return for the Blue Devils. There's Mitchell left it on. Clark with a rebound.
Maybe too quick on that possession. Long rebound.
Well, DJ wants to go to work on Mitchell. He does. Clark with an offensive board. A fresh 20 for NC State.
NC State playing that step-up screen right there for Clark.
Joyner. Defense and fly. Another 3-ball for Jarkel. And they're back to within 2. He's got 18.
My goodness.
Boy, he is fun to watch, and he has no conscience, and I love that. 4 of 8 from behind the arc against a really good Duke three-point defense. Roach trying to answer all the way to the basket, and Jeremy Roach does it again.
NC State has not defended that, and Jeremy Roach has taken advantage all night. So quick to the bucket.
Roach into double figures with 10. Feeling pretty good about life, but couldn't hit the 3 there. Now, Blue Devils with an opportunity to settle the frenetic pace a bit.
NC State has done a good job of speeding the game up. This is what they needed to do when they were down 10, and Terquavion Smith was at the free throw line.
Roach pass Burns, and he's got another one.
They're gonna have to change their ball screen coverage. They keep putting DJ Burns in that. He's got to stay in drop coverage. You can't play any other ball screen coverage with him with 3 fouls.
Clark driving, this time the floater, and Lively with the rebound. Running ahead is Whitehead. Catches up with it. That ball will be a timeout. Wolfpack might need it. Marcel. That was not an in-rhythm or well-advised shot. A 6-0 run for Duke. Shire orchestrating a play from the side.
Going to put Lively in a ball screen right here with Roach because Burns can't guard it.
Roach comes down the screen and fired the 3. Joyner in a hurry for NC State. Joyner, he gets to the basket, gets Lively in the air, and it rolls out. Loose ball on the floor. Whitehead first to the ground to get it. And it's a jump ball. And now there's the rugby scrum on the bottom, no one wanting to turn loose of the ball. Whitehead's under there. Burns trying to make sure Terquavion Smith, who is in danger of letting his emotions get the best of him for the second time tonight, being ushered to the bench by the NC State staff. It's been testy all night. Blue Devils with an 8-point lead, 11 and change to play. And played football as a kid, and in fact, his brother Tahir played in the NFL for a while. Tariq had to choose basketball, but he can still recover a fumble. And I'll tell you this, if Mike Elko's in here, he's gonna see if he can get Tariq out there to play a little backer for him. Dave Doran might also be pleased with the scrappiness shown by Joyner and Terquavion Smith, but the most important thing, jump ball, play on, no technical fouls assessed, possession arrow belonged to NC State, so they get the ball out of bounds. Now Young on Burns. DJ spins back, can't get it to go. Up on the window, Burns gets it back. Another opportunity, misses again, rebound by Mitchell. Jacob Grandison. Young with the offensive rebound, and he puts it back.
He just works, Ryan Young. Does his role so well on the boards.
You and I were in here a couple of weeks ago, and he was getting like a rebound per minute. Didn't get a lot of minutes, but he made him count on the boards. Marcel inside, and he'll go to the free throw line with a strong move. Let's have a look at Ryan Young, the grad transfer from Northwestern, playing his role.
I mean, it's a two-handed rebound, and he uses the rim to get it up on the glass away from anyone that could knock it away.
First foul on Mark Mitchell, the freshman. Young's played 7 minutes tonight. He's got 3 rebounds and scored a couple of buckets.
So NC State got to the free throw line, down 10 with Terquavion Smith, and then they pressed. They got it back to a 2-possession game. With Duana coming on the floor in place of Burns. Again, it's the speed factor here for NC State to speed up the game.
And I think also maybe, Debbie, those last couple of misses, Teach has tried to keep a limit on Burns' minutes. He's certainly in better condition than he's been, but playing him extended minutes can be problematic, and maybe the last couple of misses a result of a little bit of fatigue. And some good defense by Duke, obviously. And the steal. Jack Clark by himself, and a punch. That's what happened in the first game.
He didn't try to hang on to the rim. That's right. And that's how he got hurt in the Clemson game.
Joyner all over Proctor. Now they switch. Mitchell goes by, and a foul is going to be called.
It's great anticipation by Clark up the line, doing a great job on a lateral pass and putting it away.
Clark's had a good night. That foul was called on Joyner. That's his first. The Whitehead will inbound it for the Blue Devils, up by 7, inside 10 to play. Final home game of the season for Duke, and final regular season game for the Wolfpack. They won't suit up again until the ACC tournament. We'll have a game this weekend.
Breon pass was sitting on the legs of Filipowski, not allowing the ball to come in, and Roach just takes up the space off the bounce.
Jeremy Roach has a dozen. Now 14, check that. And oh, what a night Jeremy Roach has had.
Ryan Young doing a good job of pushing that ball screen way up to midcourt.
Turns out Freddie Kiger and I were right the first time. It was 12 for Roach. Either way, he's got a bunch of clutch baskets.
Freddie's never wrong.
Never wrong, so I need to take the blame for that. One of the great stats men in the history of college basketball, an institution on Tobacco Road, the gentleman and the scholar, the great Fred Kiger, up here working with us tonight. Filipowski working all by himself inside to the delight of the Crazies. A chance for a three-point play and another big double-double for Kyle Filipowski.
That size on the front line just wears you out. Look at the extra effort by the big 7-footer around the rim.
Kyle's 13th double-double. He has 13 rebounds, and if he can make this free throw, he'll have 13 points. So who says 13's unlucky? The man who chose number 30 because that's the jersey number his head coach wore when he was a player at Duke. The lead's a dozen. Does the Pack have another run in them? Joyner, no. Burns is back in. He's got the offensive board. He running, sweeping hook, and Clark is there with a tip.
Jack Clark active here in the second half.
What a good job he's done tonight.
He's a stretch 4 who can shoot the 3.
He's got 11 points and 6 rebounds.
They missed him while he was out.
And Shire's going to take a timeout here as Duke was a little flustered by the press. 10-point lead for the Blue Devils. Kevin, thanks a lot. A lot to be sorted out in the ACC in terms of seeding in tournaments. Kansas trying to get at least a share of yet another Big 12 title tonight. They've got the Longhorns this weekend and Texas Tech tonight. Coming down the stretch, final day of February. Turn the calendar to March. Versions of the madness will commence. Reese Proctor from the corner. And Young just out-front Burns in terms of getting position and gets the rebound. There'll be a whistle on foul. It's going to be called on Filipowski. That's his third with 7:47 to play. His Blue Devils holding a 10-point lead. Kyle's only 2 of 10 from the floor, but he's done a good job at the free throw line, and he's got 13 rebounds.
Both teams with 13 offensive rebounds, which is their average.
One of the goals for Kevin Keats was to out-rebound Duke by 10. He's -7 at the moment. Marcel gets a look, and he hasn't had a good night shooting the ball.
The tendency for Burns when he catches it in the middle is he's definitely going to be a passer. And it's much easier to double him in the middle because you can bring the double from different places.
And Marcel was shooting over 40% from 3 coming in. He's 0 for 5 behind the arc tonight and 0 for 8 overall. Just a single point. Roach with the runner, and they're saying the foul occurred on the floor. Jarkel Joyner whistled for the foul, his second. So Ryan Young would go back to the bench as Derek Lively returns. Filipowski also going to take a break. Lively lobbed to the rim and the kick out to Roach. He couldn't get the dunk, didn't want to do the floater off the lob pass. Lively, moving screen, no call. And rebound by Joyner. Jarkel thought about picking up and probably should have. It winds up sort of kicking it out of bounds, but last touched by the Blue Devils. So the loss to handle, probably fortunate it went off the Duke foot there.
Trying to score quickly before the D gets set, trying to pick up the pace.
Roach was challenged in practice to see if he could slow down Joyner. Nobody's been able to do that. Burns created some space, but Lively messed with him just enough to cause the miss.
This is where Proctor and Roach can control the rest of the game right here for Duke. And John Shire's terrific at it, calling plays when his offense is in front of his bench. They'll use some clock on each possession here.
8 turnovers tonight after 22 in the first meeting. Lively going to try one to beat the shot clock.
Probably not a good decision to give him the ball there.
Didn't have much choice. He's now 1 for 12 from behind the arc on the season. How about that pass? And Clark's going to finish. Burns a really good passer. The big fella makes one come out on the floor, and NC State hanging around just down 8. They break the pressure. Lob to Lively, and it's too tall. And it'll be a turnover just after I spoke about Duke doing a good job taking care of the ball. That is an errant pass if you throw it higher than Derek Lively can get up. The Cameron Crazies are upset. They felt like I think Wolfpack defender moved under Lively.
They thought DJ moved underneath Lively when he was in the air.
This showed the replay on the board. John Shire agrees with the Crazies. As as it is, an 8-point lead. North Carolina State trying to cut into it. Burns in the paint. Has to do something with it. Left hand, and he gets one to rattle home.
And look at that footwork. Foot fake, ball fake, pivot in the middle. Play on balance.
BJ's got 13 and the chance of let's go Duke file up.
Duke doing a good job getting multiple ball reversals.
Now Filipowski, and it's a turnover. The Blue Devils have turned it over in the last couple of trips. That's 10 now. Real chance for NC State.
Just get out of the way and let him take Filipowski to the bucket. Yes.
Joyner lost his footing and he's on the slip. He'll call for the unfortunate travel and the first turnover of the second half for NC State.
It's the right idea. You don't want to bring a ball screen there because they'll switch back. You get the matchup that you know you can win.
Travion Smith hounding Proctor, makes him pick up his dribble. Roach gets free. Smith misses the steal. And Blue Devils will set an offense. 12 on the shot clock. Proctor. Filipowski for three. Mitchell gets position and he goes up and he'll go to the free throw line.
What a great crash of the boards to the weak side. It's exactly where you need to go on a corner triple, is to the opposite side of the rim.
They're sort of lost in good defensive performance from Duke, balanced scoring. They're just 2 of 18 from three-point territory.
Well, they've been winning the free throw battle, right? They're getting to the line. That's why they have the lead. That's their advantage in this game.
Mitchell makes it a 7-point lead. Coming up next, we go to the Fog. Texas Tech taking on number 3 Kansas. Senior night there. Kansas' last regular season game on the road in Austin. Jayhawks need a win or a Texas loss to secure a Thursday share. Bill Self 17th regular season conference championship in 2 decades, and Lawrence.
Duke has shot 22 free throws. NC State has shot 6. When NC State lost to North Carolina, the Heels shot 39 free throws and NC State shot 12 on the road in Chapel Hill.
What are you saying, Debbie?
I'm just saying, on the road.
DJ Burns, he can't get a whistle. Ball battered around like a volleyball, and Filipowski comes away with it because that's what he's done all night. 14 rebounds for Kyle.
Joyner heating up Proctor right there on the ball. This is what NC State needs to do. They need to play discipline D and one shot.
There's still plenty of time, but this is an important defensive possession. It feels like for NC State, and Jeremy Roach rolls it in.
You know what, Reese? I think John Shire trusts Jeremy Roach the most in the late game.
Clark for 3. That's no good. One and done for the Pack, and Duke has it. 10-point lead. Clock's going to go inside 3 minutes on this possession. 16 for Roach, who didn't have a field goal in the first meeting between the Pack and the Blue Devils.
NC State with 16 fouls. The next foul would put Duke to the line.
Roach. That's really the only thing Duke hasn't done well tonight is shoot the 3 for Travion Smith. Can't get it to go. It's been a tough night for him. Just 2 points, both coming from the free throw line. He's missed all 7 of his shots for third leading scorer in the ACC. Averaging over 17.5 points per game. Time is now decidedly against the visitors from Raleigh. Roach.
Taking charge in winning time. That's Jeremy Roach.
Joyner been pretty quiet in the second half. Lively with the rebound, and North Carolina State's in a lot of trouble. The Devils sense that they can finish this. Their largest lead of the game, sending them to crazy town. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Progressive Insurance. It's easy to bundle your home and car insurance at progressive.com. Streak by a first-year head coach. Blue Devils already with their largest lead. They can add to it with Tyrese Proctor at the line. By the same token, though, NC State's going to lose its second in a row, and they'll play again in the ACC tournament. The Wolfpack won 22 games, most wins in a regular season since 1988 when Jim Valvano was still the head coach in Raleigh. This weekend, of course, the 30th anniversary of Jim Valvano's great speech as Traquavion Smith hits his first field goal of the night. It's a long three. And this weekend, in honor of that, will be a special presentation of the Jimmy V speech from 11:45 until noon. All ESPN networks will feature the full speech and a feature on the speech excerpted from the documentary about Jimmy V, which will premiere in July. From 11:40, starts at 11:45, so we'll cut game day a little bit short to pay tribute to that. Of course, Jim Valvano giving that great speech at the ESPYs in 1993, which has led to so much in terms of raising money for cancer research, people who have been afflicted. It's a remarkable cause, and it's a speech that moves you every time you hear it.
I always love the part of the speech when he talks about, you may not save my life, but you might save the lives of someone you love or my children, which it did. You know, his daughter Jamie is a cancer survivor, and his brother Nick ran the foundation for the longest time. His brother Bob still battling. It's a great family, the Valvanos.
Wolfpack a national championship in 1983, and they're down 9 here, and they can score quickly. And Jarkel Joyner is down for the second time tonight. Early on, he got his foot caught under the scores table. He took a tough spill there, and there's no quit in this team. No. Kevin Keats, they're still fighting here as Filipowski just picked up his fourth.
Stops the clock, gets to the free throw line. You know the press is coming. Can't get beat over the top. NC State's going to really have to scramble right here. They got their best defensive lineup on the floor.
Joyner is going to be shooting for his 20th point. It is still a 3-possession game. 80 seconds to play. Kevin's in a stance, so they're trying to help his defense. Roach gets past Traquavion Smith. Pack will play defense on this possession.
Duke's
up half the shot clock.
Obviously a pretty good free throw shooting team.
Proctor gets in the lane, misses, and NC State has the ball. Here comes Smith. Leaves it with Joyner for 3. Buckets. And how about that? Here come the Pack. Just when you think it's over, they're back in it. A 4-point game. And Jarkel Joyner with 23 points tonight.
We've seen some crazy finishes the last week in college basketball. Traquavion Smith, good decision right here. Joyner's had the hot hand all night. Traquavion is still yet to have a basket, but does a good job of, he's got one basket, I'm sorry, he's got 1 3 late. Jarkel Joyner scored the last 5 points for NC State.
You think NC State would take their chances if they knew that Traquavion Smith would have 5 points, and with 51.2 to play, they'd be down just 4.
Yeah, I mean, that's just shocking, right? I'm really surprised Traquavion didn't play and have a big game tonight. You take a look at Jarkel Joyner's numbers. 21 points in the first meeting versus Duke, 23 tonight, and he shot the ball 50% from the floor.
Joyner's made 5 triples tonight. And they've had several opportunities to sort of fade away and feel as if, well, we gave it a good run. That's a foul trouble. Terquavion Smith, the leading scorer, was off. But instead, in 49 seconds, they channel their inner Iowa and go on an 8-0 run and get right back into it.
NC State doesn't have any more timeouts left, so they're going to put the pressure on. You can't get beat over the top. You got to try to get a steal if you can. I think you play good D right here.
Plenty of time to do so, especially if you can make it a one-shot situation. Proctor trots in the backcourt now. Mitchell has it in the front. Mitchell had numbers momentarily, but opted to let that clock run, and Roach will take care of it. Now they do choose to foul. Jack Clark goes out and gets Roach.
And NC State doesn't need a 3. They want to get the best shot available right here. They want to push regardless of the free throws.
73% free throw shooter is on the line, shooting the 1-and-1. And the one thing this does, Debbie, and we saw it, I mentioned Iowa jokingly a moment ago, you start trading 3s for 2s if you can. Right. And when you catch it up, Burns returns. As Dewana goes back to the bench, Keats will try to do a little offense-defense here. 5-point lead.
There's your answer with DJ Burns on the floor about how they want to play inside.
I think there was a question about the substitution. Is the only thing I can imagine that had the officials confirm briefly. Now Roach shooting for his 20th point of the night, and he rolls it in. Jeremy's got 20. Duke is up by 6. Joyner, step back. Bottom! Jarkel Joyner is feeling it, and he's tying his career high for 3s. His 6th of the night. 3-point game. Got to get a quick turnover. Shot clock, game clock, virtually the same. Filipowski almost traveled with it. They're going to have to pick a guy to foul. Morcell is going to foul Tyrese Proctor. He'll send the freshman from Australia to the line.
Jarkel Joyner, are you kidding me? A couple of huge triples here down the stretch, playing off the DJ Burns screen. Uses that bounce again, the step back over Lively.
Proctor's hit 4 of his 5 free throws. This is a 1-and-1 still. 2-possession game.
That's a big one. I look for a little drag screen action again and transition. See if you can get a 3. If not, you got to score quickly.
Whatever they do, I'd make sure number 1 has the basketball. What a performance from Jarkel Joyner tonight. His backcourt mate off of his game in terms of scoring, dealt with some foul trouble, and Joyner has been more than up to the task, trying to rescue the Wolfpack on the road.
6 for 11 from 3. He's 3 for 6 from 2. And he's made his free throws tonight, Jarkel Joyner.
NC State, highly likely to make the NCAA tournament with these guards and quick scoring ability quickly while they're in timeout. How dangerous a team do you think they can be in the NCAA tournament? You got to figure they're going to be in that 8 to 10 seed range anyway there, depending on how they play in Greensboro next week.
They play well in Greensboro. There's some brackets that have them as a 7. I think that it's all about guards in March. NC State's got an incredible committee of guards that can change and take over a game. We're seeing what they're doing right here. This is based on their speed, their versatility offensively. And Jarkel Joyner and Terquavion Smith, when they're both together hitting, that's a tough combination to have to deal with. And Casey Morcell didn't shoot the ball well tonight either. Yet NC State's right here, 2-possession game.
18.4 to go. Let's see how quickly Joyner can get one up. They don't deny him the ball, so he'll bring it up himself. dealing with Roach. Pull up, fire, can't get that one. The tap back, and Proctor secures it for Duke.
Got a foul.
Got to get to him. Joyner doesn't quickly enough, so 6.6 to go. Duke with a 5-point lead, and they'll go back to the free throw line. They'll shoot a pair, and if the Blue Devils do indeed hang on for the last 6.6, the reason will be because they got to the free throw line and they made their free throws.
And NC State could have gone for a quick 2 and tried to extend the game, but they went for the 3. Jeremy Roach and Tyrese Proctor controlling the game down the stretch for Duke. It's not always how many threes you make, Reese. It's when you make them that allowed NC State to make a run.
And Proctor might have just put that one away. 7-point lead, closing seconds. Terquavion Smith fires one. Only his second field goal of the night, but it's going to be just a little too little as Kevin Keats' Wolfpack comes up short, and what a tough-minded win for Duke. They finished their 19th undefeated season at home, and John Shire starts his head coaching career with a perfect 16-0 record.